The mountain air was cold against King Wu's face as he climbed the rocky path. His boots crunched on loose stones, and his breath came out in small white clouds. He had been walking for 3 hours since leaving his truck at the base of the mountain. The villagers had reported strange lights in the sky last night, followed by a loud boom that shook their windows. Now it was his job to investigate. Haiyan Wu worked in search and rescue. For 8 years, he had pulled people from collapsed buildings, found lost hikers in snowstorms, and brought hope to families when everything seemed lost. He was good at his job because he never gave up. Even when others said someone was gone, Haiyan Wu kept looking. The forest around him was quiet. Too quiet. No birds sang in the trees. No small animals rustled in the bushes. Something had scared them away. Haiyan Wu's hand moved to the radio on his belt, checking it was still there. He felt better knowing he could call for help if needed. Then he saw it. The trees ahead were broken and burned. Their branches hung at wrong angles, and black marks covered their trunks. Haiyan Wu walked faster, his heart beating harder in his chest. He pushed through the damaged trees and stopped. In front of him was a crater. It was maybe 30 feet wide and 10 feet deep. The earth was scorched black, and small fires still burned in patches around the edges. In the center of the crater sat something that looked like a large metal egg. Steam rose from its surface, and strange lights blinked on and off along its sides. Haiyan Wu had seen alien technology before. 3 years ago, beings from other worlds had made contact with Earth. Some came to trade. Some came to study. Some just wanted to see what humans were like. Most were peaceful, though Haiyan Wu had learned to be careful. Not all aliens were friendly, and their technology could be dangerous. He climbed down into the crater carefully, testing each step before putting his weight on it. The ground was still warm under his boots. As he got closer to the metal egg, he could see it was damaged. Large cracks ran across its surface, and one whole side had been torn open. It was an escape pod. Haiyan Wu had seen pictures of them in the training materials his company gave all rescue workers after first contact. If someone was inside, they might be hurt. They might need help. He moved to the opening and looked inside. At first, he thought the pod was empty. Then he saw her. She was lying on the floor of the pod, her body twisted at an uncomfortable angle. She looked human at first glance, but her skin was wrong. It shimmered like oil on water, changing colors as he watched. Blue became purple, became green. Patterns that looked like crystals ran up her arms and along her neck. She was alive. Her chest rose and fell with shallow breaths. But what caught Haiyan Wu's attention were the restraints. Thick metal bands wrapped around her wrists, ankles, and waist. They glowed with a soft blue light, and he could hear them humming. The sound made his teeth ache. Haiyan Wu climbed into the pod and knelt beside her. Her eyes opened. They were beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Instead of white and colored parts like human eyes, hers were solid silver with flecks of gold that moved like living things. "Are you hurt?" Haiyan Wu asked. He spoke slowly and clearly. His English was good, and most aliens who visited Earth had learned to understand it. The woman stared at him for a long moment. Her skin shifted to a deep red color. Fear, Haiyan Wu realized. The color showed her emotions. "Human," she said. Her voice was soft, but had a strange quality to it, like someone singing and speaking at the same time. "You found me." "Yes, I'm going to help you." Haiyan Wu reached for the restraint on her wrist. His fingers touched the warm metal. "No!" The woman jerked away from him, or tried to. The restraints held her in place. Her skin flashed bright red, then black, then red again. "Don't remove it." "Please, human." "Don't touch them." Haiyan Wu pulled his hand back. It's okay. I won't hurt you. But those restraints look like they're digging into your skin. Let me help you. You don't understand? The woman's breathing became faster. The restraints aren't here to hurt me. They're here to protect you. To protect everyone. Haiyan Wu sat back on his heels. Protect me? From what? The woman closed her silver eyes. When she opened them again, they looked sad. Her skin had turned to a dull gray color. From me, from what I am. From what I carry inside. I don't understand, Haiyan Wu said. Are you sick? Are you dangerous? Both, the woman said. And neither. It's complicated. She took a shaky breath. My name is Velara. I am Luminar. My people are from the Andara system. We are artists and musicians, and builders of beautiful things. But I am not like my people anymore. I am infected. Haiyan Wu felt a chill run down his back. Infected with what? We call it the devouring, Velara said. Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. It is old. Older than most civilizations in the galaxy. It moves from world to world, from mind to mind. It consumes everything. Thoughts, memories, personalities. It eats them all and leaves nothing behind. She looked at Haiyan Wu with those strange silver eyes. I was exposed to it 6 months ago. My ship encountered a derelict vessel. We thought it was abandoned. We were wrong. By the time we realized what it was, the devouring had already touched 3 of us. The others killed themselves rather than risk spreading it. I was not brave enough to do the same. So they put you in these restraints? Haiyan Wu asked. Yes, the restraints produce a frequency that keeps the devouring dormant. As long as I wear them, it sleeps inside my mind. But if they are removed, if I am freed, then it wakes up. And when it wakes up, I will not be Velara anymore. I will be a carrier, a spreader. Anyone I touch mentally will become infected too. Haiyan Wu looked at the restraints more carefully. The blue glow was dimmer than it had been a moment ago. They're losing power, he said. I know, Velara said. Her skin turned bright red again. The crash damaged the pod's power systems. The restraints are running on emergency power. They will last maybe 12 hours. Maybe less. Then we need to get you somewhere safe. Somewhere that can recharge them or make new ones. No, Velara said firmly. You need to contact the Galactic Peacekeepers. Tell them where I am. They will send a containment team. They will take me to a facility where I can live out the rest of my days in isolation. Haiyan Wu pulled out his radio and tried to call his base station. Nothing but static came through. He tried different frequencies, but the result was the same. The crash must have caused some kind of interference, he said. I can't reach anyone. Velara made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. Of course. Even the universe wants to make this harder. There's a research outpost about 20 miles from here, Haiyan Wu said. They have better communication equipment, and they work with alien technology. Maybe they can help with the restraints. 20 miles? Velara shook her head. I can barely move. These restraints are heavy, and the crash injured my leg. I will never make it that far in 12 hours. Then I'll carry you, Haiyan Wu said simply. Velara stared at him. Her skin flickered through several colors, landing on yellow. Confusion, maybe? Why would you do that? You don't know me. And I just told you I am dangerous. If these restraints fail, I could infect you. I could destroy your entire world. Haiyan Wu met her eyes. Because you need help. And because you warned me. You could have said nothing. You could have waited until I removed the restraints and then spread this devouring to Earth. But you didn't. You told me the truth. That means you're still fighting it. still in control. And I don't abandon people who are still fighting. He stood up and began examining the pod, looking for anything useful. He found an emergency kit with medical supplies and a small power cell. It wasn't much, but it might help. I've been doing rescue work for 8 years, Haiyan-Wu said as he worked. I've learned that giving up is easy. Keeping hope alive is hard, but it's always worth it. Velara watched him work. Her skin slowly changed from gray to a pale blue. You are strange, human. Most species I have met would kill me or run away. You are doing neither. My name is Haiyan-Wu, he said, and we don't leave people behind. That's what makes us human. Outside the pod, the sun was starting to set. The temperature was dropping. Haiyan-Wu looked at the power cell in his hand, and then at the restraints around Velara's wrists. He had 12 hours, maybe less. 20 miles of rough mountain terrain. An injured alien who carried a universe-ending infection inside her mind. He smiled. He had faced worse odds before. Can you stand? He asked Velara. I think so, she said. With help. Haiyan-Wu held out his hand. Velara looked at it for a long moment. Then carefully she took it. Her skin where they touched turned warm gold. Let's go, Haiyan-Wu said. We have a long walk ahead of us. The first hour of walking was the hardest. Velara limped badly, her right leg dragging behind her with each step. The restraints made her movements slow and awkward. The metal bands were heavier than they looked, and every few minutes she had to stop and rest. Haiyan-Wu stayed patient. He had learned long ago that rushing an injured person only made things worse. Instead, he focused on making the path easier. He cleared branches out of the way and found the flattest routes through the rough terrain. When Velara stumbled, he was always there to catch her. The restraints flickered more often now. Each time the blue glow dimmed, Velara's whole body tensed up. She would close her silver eyes and breathe slowly until the light stabilized again. Tell me about your world, Haiyan-Wu said as they walked. He had found that talking helped injured people stay focused. It kept their minds off the pain. Velara was quiet for a moment. Then she began to speak. Luminar is beautiful. We have 3 suns, so it is always bright, never truly dark. Our cities are made of crystal and light. We don't build like you do, with stone and metal. We grow our buildings. We sing to the crystals, and they respond to our songs. They grow into the shapes we need. Her skin changed to a soft pink color as she talked. Happiness, Haiyan-Wu guessed. Or maybe nostalgia. I was an artist, Velara continued. I created light sculptures, living things made of pure illumination. They would dance and change based on the emotions of people nearby. A sculpture might be calm and blue when someone was sad, helping them feel peaceful. Or it might be warm and orange when someone was happy, celebrating with them. That sounds amazing, Haiyan-Wu said. And he meant it. He tried to imagine cities made of crystal, filled with sculptures that responded to feelings. It was hard to picture, but beautiful. What about you? Velara asked. Why do you do this work? Rescue people? Haiyan-Wu was quiet for several steps. It was a question he usually avoided, but something about the situation made him want to answer honestly. I had a younger sister, he said. Her name was Hannah. She loved climbing mountains. When she was 19, she went hiking with friends. There was an accident, a rock slide. By the time the rescue team found her, it was too late. They said she had been alive for hours, waiting for help that came too slowly. Velara's skin turned a deep purple, sadness. I decided then that I would never let that happen to someone else if I could help it, Haiyan-Wu said. That's why I became a rescue worker, so that other families wouldn't have to feel what my family felt. I am sorry, Velara said softly. Loss is painful. We Luminar understand this well. The devouring has taken so much from us. They walked in silence for a while. The sun was fully down now, and Haiyan Wu had to use his flashlight to see the path. The beam of light caught on Velara's skin, making the color shimmer. Haiyan Wu's radio crackled suddenly. Static mostly, but underneath it, he heard a voice. He grabbed the radio quickly. Hello? This is Haiyan Wu. Can anyone hear me? More static. Then a voice, broken and distant. Haiyan ... this ... Gun. Where? You? G1. Haiyan Wu felt relief flood through him. G1 was his partner, the person he worked with most often. She was smart and tough, and if anyone could help them, it was her. G1, I'm in the mountains, about 15 miles from the Eastern Research Outpost. I have a situation. Can single quotes T ... clearly. What? Situation? I found a crash site. Alien escape pod. I have an injured alien with me. She needs help urgently. Can you meet us? The static got worse for a moment, then cleared slightly. Meet you? Haiyan Wu. There are reports of something in your area. Dangerous. You need to. The radio went dead. Haiyan Wu tried several more times to reach Gi1, but got only static. Your friend? Velara asked. Yes, she's trying to reach us. The interference is still too strong. He looked at the sky, but at least she knows something is happening. She'll come looking. They kept walking. The temperature dropped lower. Haiyan Wu gave Velara his jacket, but it didn't seem to help much. Her skin kept shifting to darker colors, and she was shivering. Are you cold-blooded? Haiyan Wu asked. Does your species need heat? We need warmth, yes, Velara said. Her words came out slower now, harder. The restraints ... They use some of my body's energy to stay powered. It makes me cold. Haiyan Wu looked around. They needed to rest anyway. Velara was getting weaker. He found a small cave, really just an overhang of rock, and guided her inside. He gathered wood and made a small fire. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. They sat by the fire, and slowly, Velara's shivering stopped. Her skin turned a warmer shade of blue. Thank you, she said. You are kind to me, even though I am a risk. You're a person who needs help, Haiyan Wu said. That's all that matters. Velara looked at him with those strange silver eyes. Most species in the galaxy are not like you. Most see others as threats or resources, useful or dangerous. Nothing in between. Humans can be that way too, Haiyan Wu admitted. But we also know what it's like to need help, to be scared and alone. I think that makes us more willing to help others. The restraints flickered again. This time, the blue glow went completely dark for several seconds before coming back. Velara gasped, and her skin flashed black. What happened? Haiyan Wu asked, moving closer to her. It spoke to me, Velara whispered. Her whole body was shaking now, and not from cold. The devouring. When the restraints failed, just for a moment, it was there. In my mind. It said ... She stopped, looking terrified. What did it say? Haiyan Wu asked gently. It said it was hungry. It said it wanted to taste your world, to consume all the bright, chaotic minds of humanity. Velara looked at Haiyan Wu with fear in her eyes. It's getting stronger. The restraints are failing faster now. Maybe we only have 6 hours left. Maybe less. Haiyan Wu checked the power cell he had taken from the escape pod. It still had some charge, but not much. Connecting it to the restraints might buy them more time, but he didn't know how to do it safely. If he made a mistake, He could make things worse. He was about to try anyway when he heard a sound outside the cave. Footsteps. Heavy ones. Something big was moving through the forest. Hyun-woo put his finger to his lips, signaling Velara to be quiet. He moved to the entrance of the cave and looked out carefully. At first, he saw nothing. Then shapes moved between the trees. 3 figures, each about 7 feet tall. They wore armor that looked like it was made from black metal and bone. They carried weapons that glowed with red light. "Krell," Velara whispered behind him. Her voice was full of fear. Her skin had turned completely black. "They're hunters, mercenaries. Someone must have hired them to find me. Will they help us?" Hyun-woo asked. "No." Velara shook her head. "The Krell don't believe in containing the infected. They believe in killing them. Quickly and without question. They will kill me the moment they see me." One of the Krell stopped and lifted its head. It was sniffing the air. "I smell fire," it said. Its voice was deep and rough, like rocks grinding together. "And something else. Something wrong. The infected is near," another Krell said. "I can feel it. The wrongness in the air." "Spread out," the third Krell ordered. "Find it. Kill it. No witnesses." Hyun-woo moved back into the cave. His mind was racing. They couldn't run. Velara was too weak and too slow. They couldn't hide. The Krell would find them soon. That left only one option. "Stay here," he told Velara. "Stay quiet." "What are you going to do?" she asked. Something stupid, probably. Hyun-woo gave her a small smile. "But it might work." He stepped out of the cave before she could argue. He raised his hands to show he wasn't armed. "Hey," he called out. "Over here." The 3 Krell turned to look at him. They moved fast, surrounding him in seconds. Up close, they were even more frightening. Their faces were hidden behind helmets that looked like skulls. Their armor was covered in scratches and burns. These were experienced fighters. "Human," the leader said. It tilted its head, studying Hyun-woo. "You are far from your settlements. Why?" "I'm a rescue worker," Hyun-woo said, keeping his voice calm. "I was investigating a crash site. Did you find anything?" The Krell asked. Its hand moved to the weapon at its side. "Just wreckage," Hyun-woo lied. The escape pod was empty. Whoever was inside must have left already. The Krell leader was silent for a moment. Then it made a sound that might have been a laugh. "You lie, human. I can smell the infected. It is close. Very close." It stepped toward Hyun-woo. "Where is it?" Hyun-woo didn't answer. Instead, he looked up at the rocks above them. Earlier, when they had been walking, he had noticed how unstable the slope was. Loose stones balanced on top of each other. One good impact, and they would come tumbling down. "Last chance, human," the Krell leader said. "Tell us where the infected is, or we will make you tell us." Hyun-woo smiled. "Sorry, but we don't abandon people who need help. That's what makes us human." Then he turned and ran straight at the rocky slope. The Krell charged after him, just as he had hoped. When Hyun-woo reached the slope, he grabbed a large rock and threw it as hard as he could at a particularly unstable section above. The rock hit. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like thunder, the entire slope began to collapse. Tons of stone and dirt came sliding down, right toward the Krell. Hyun-woo dove to the side, rolling behind a large tree. He covered his head as rocks bounced past him. He heard the Krell shouting in their rough voices. Then the sound of the rock slide drowned everything out. When the dust cleared, Hyun-woo stood up carefully. The 3 Krell were buried under rocks and dirt. They were moving, trying to dig themselves out, but it would take them time. Time that Hyun-woo and Velara desperately needed. He ran back to the cave. Velara was standing at the entrance, her silver eyes wide. "That was insane," she said. "I know," Hyun-woo agreed. "Now let's go before they get free." They ran through the forest as fast as Velara could manage. Behind them, Hyun-woo could hear the Krell digging themselves out of the rocks. Their angry shouts echoed through the trees. It wouldn't be long before they were free and hunting again. Velara stumbled, and Hyun-woo caught her before she fell. "I can't go much faster," she gasped. Her skin kept flickering between colors now, never staying steady. The restraints were getting dimmer by the minute. "We don't need to outrun them forever," Hyun-woo said. "Just long enough to reach help." He pulled out his radio and tried again. "G1, if you can hear me, we need immediate assistance. Hostile contacts pursuing us. We're heading east toward the research outpost." Static answered him, but this time he thought he heard words buried in it. He couldn't make them out, but it meant they were getting closer to clearer areas. The radio interference was weakening. They pushed through thick bushes and across a small stream. The water was ice cold, and Velara gasped when it touched her legs. Her skin turned pale blue, almost white. But they didn't stop. They couldn't afford to. "Tell me about the devouring," Hyun-woo said as they climbed up a steep hill. He needed to keep her talking, keep her focused. "How does it work?" Velara was breathing hard. Her voice came out in short bursts. "It spreads through mental contact. If someone with psychic abilities touches an infected mind, even for a second, the devouring transfers. It copies itself. Like a disease, but worse. It doesn't just make you sick. It eats who you are. What does it want?" Hyun-woo asked. "Why does it consume minds?" "We don't know," Velara said. "Some scientists think it's just what it does. Like a fire burns or water flows. It consumes because that is its nature. Others believe it's intelligent, that it enjoys destroying civilizations, that it feeds on the suffering it causes." They reached the top of the hill, and Hyun-woo had to help Velara over the last few rocks. "And your people? The Luminar? How many are infected?" Velara's skin turned gray. "Thousands. We built special facilities to house them. Prisons, really. Places where the infected can live out their remaining years in isolation. Their restraints powered by generators that never fail. It's not a life. It's just existence. Waiting to die." "That's horrible," Hyun-woo said. "It's necessary," Velara replied. "A single infected person who escapes could destroy an entire world. Better that a few thousand suffer than billions die." Hyun-woo was about to respond when his radio suddenly crackled to life with clear sound. "Hyun-woo, finally." "I can hear you." It was G1's voice, strong and clear. "G1." Hyun-woo grabbed the radio. "We need help. I have an injured alien with me. She's infected with something called the Devouring. She's wearing restraints that are failing. We need to get to the research outpost urgently." There was a pause. Then G1 spoke again, her voice serious. "Infected?" "Hyun-woo, I've been reading about the Devouring since I picked up your first message. It's bad. Really bad. Are you sure you want to help her?" "Yes," Hyun-woo said without hesitation. "She warned me about the danger. She could have tried to spread it, but she didn't. She's fighting it." "Okay," Ji-won said. "I trust your judgment. I'm about 8 miles from your position, moving east. I have supplies and some equipment from our base. Where exactly are you?" Hyun-woo checked his GPS and gave her the coordinates. "Be careful," he added. "There are Krell mercenaries hunting us. 3 of them. They want to kill Velara." "Noted," Ji-won said. I'm bringing help. The research outpost sent a security team when they heard about a possible infected in the area. They should reach you first. Keep moving east and stay on the radio. The connection stayed clear now. They had broken through whatever interference the crash had caused. It was a small victory, but it felt good. They kept moving. The night was getting darker, and the temperature kept dropping. Haiyan Wu's breath came out in visible clouds. Viellera was getting slower and slower. Her leg was worse, and the restraints were clearly taking more energy from her body. We need to rest, she said finally. Just for a few minutes. Haiyan Wu looked back the way they had come. He couldn't hear the Krell yet, but he knew they were back there, somewhere, hunting. 5 minutes, he agreed. No more. They stopped near a large fallen tree. Viellera leaned against it and closed her eyes. Her skin was mostly gray now, with occasional flickers of darker colors. The restraints were barely glowing at all. How much time do you think we have? Haiyan Wu asked. Maybe 4 hours, Viellera said. Maybe less. It's hard to tell. When the restraints fail completely, there will be no warning. One moment I will be me. The next ... double quotes, she didn't finish the sentence. We'll make it, Haiyan Wu said firmly. The outpost is only a few more miles away. And if we don't? Viellera opened her silver eyes and looked at him. If the restraints fail before we reach help, what will you do? Haiyan Wu met her gaze. I'll do whatever I can to save you. Even if that means letting the devouring spread to your world? Even if it means watching your entire species consumed? It won't come to that, Haiyan Wu said. But inside, he felt uncertain. What would he do if Viellera transformed? If she became a carrier of the devouring right in front of him? Could he kill her to save others? He didn't know. Before he could think about it more, lights appeared through the trees. Bright, artificial lights. Haiyan Wu stood up quickly, helping Viellera to her feet. Someone's coming. Friend or enemy? Viellera asked. Let's find out. Haiyan Wu kept one hand on Viellera's arm, ready to help her run if needed. 3 figures emerged from the forest. But these weren't Krell. They were humans, wearing tactical gear and carrying advanced weapons. One of them, a woman with short black hair, stepped forward. Haiyan Wu? She asked. That's me, he confirmed. I'm Lieutenant Park, from the Research Outpost Security Team. We were told you have an infected alien with you. She looked at Viellera, and her expression became cautious. Is it safe to approach? As long as her restraints stay active, Haiyan Wu said. But they're failing. We need to get to the outpost now. Lieutenant Park nodded. We have a transport vehicle about a mile from here. Can she walk that far? I'll manage, Viellera said. Her voice was weak, but determined. They started moving again, but now they had help. One of the security team members, a young man named Dae Young, helped support Viellera on her other side. Lieutenant Park and the 3rd team member, an older man called Minho, kept watch for threats. We picked up 3 Krell signatures about a mile behind you, Lieutenant Park said as they walked. They're moving fast, probably tracking you. They want to kill me, Viellera said. They don't believe in containing infected, only eliminating them. Well, they'll have to go through us first, Lieutenant Park said. Her voice was cold and professional. We have orders to bring you safely to the research outpost. No one is killing anyone on my watch. They reached the transport vehicle, a large all-terrain truck with 6 wheels and armor plating. Haiyan Wu helped Viellera into the back, and the security team climbed in around them. Lieutenant Park got in the driver's seat, and they started moving. The ride was rough. The truck bounced over rocks and through streams, its powerful engine roaring. But it was fast, much faster than walking. Haiyan Wu allowed himself to feel a small bit of hope. and the restraints went completely dark. Velara screamed. Her whole body went rigid, and her skin flashed through colors so fast it was dizzying. Black, red, purple, colors Haiyan Wu didn't have names for. "What's happening?" Dae Young asked, backing away from her. "The restraints failed," Haiyan Wu said. He moved closer to Velara, even though every instinct told him to run. "Velara, can you hear me?" Velara's eyes snapped open. For a moment, they weren't silver anymore. They were black. Completely, utterly black. And something looked out through them. Something that was not Velara. "So many minds," a voice said. It was Velara's voice, but wrong. Layered with other voices, thousands of voices all speaking at once. So close, so bright, so ready to be consumed. "Velara!" Haiyan Wu grabbed her shoulders. "Fight it! You're stronger than this thing." The black eyes focused on him. "She is nothing. She is food. As are you. As is your entire young, arrogant species." Then Velara jerked. Her body spasmed, and the color returned to her eyes. Silver again. She looked at Haiyan Wu with desperation. "The power cell," she gasped. "From the escape pod. Connect it to the restraints. Now." Haiyan Wu fumbled for the power cell he had stuffed in his backpack. His hands were shaking, but he forced them steady. He looked at the restraints, trying to figure out where to connect it. There were several ports on the metal bands, but he didn't know which one was right. "Here," Lieutenant Park said. She had climbed into the back of the truck and was looking at the restraints with a trained eye. "This port. It's an emergency input. I've seen similar systems before." She took the power cell from Haiyan Wu and snapped it into place. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the restraints flickered back to life. The blue glow was dimmer than before, but it was there. Velara collapsed against the truck wall, gasping. Her skin slowly returned to gray. "Thank you," she whispered. "It almost had me. It almost won. How long will the power cell last?" Haiyan Wu asked Lieutenant Park. "Maybe an hour," she said. "Maybe 2 if we're lucky. We need to get to the outpost fast." "We're almost there," Minho called from the front. 5 more minutes. Those 5 minutes felt like hours. Everyone in the truck was tense. Velara kept her eyes closed, clearly fighting an internal battle. The restraints flickered constantly now. Then they saw lights ahead. Big, bright lights. The research outpost. A cluster of buildings surrounded by fences and guard towers. Safety. The truck roared through the gates, and they screeched to a stop in front of the main building. People in white coats rushed out, along with more security personnel. One man, older with gray hair and glasses, ran up to them. "I'm Dr. Taemin," he said, "Director of Xenobiology here. You must be the infected we were called about." "Her name is Velara," Haiyan Wu said firmly. "She's not just an infected. She's a person." Dr. Taemin looked at Haiyan Wu for a moment, then nodded. "You're right. I apologize. Velara, we're here to help you. We have a quantum resonance chamber that might be able to help with your condition." "Might?" Velara asked weakly. "It's experimental," Dr. Taemin admitted. "But it's the best chance we have. Come with me." They rushed Velara into the research facility. The building was all white walls and bright lights. Scientists hurried past them carrying tablets and equipment. Everything smelled clean and sterile, like a hospital. Dr. Taemin led them to an elevator that went down. Deep down. Haiyan Wu counted the floors as they descended. 1, 2, 5, 10. They were going far underground. "We keep dangerous experiments down here," Dr. Taemin explained. "If something goes wrong, the rock and earth contain it. The quantum resonance chamber is in our most secure lab. The elevator doors opened to reveal a long hallway. At the end was a thick metal door with warning signs all over it. Dr. Taemin pressed his hand to a scanner, and the door slid open with a heavy sound. The room beyond was large and circular. In the center stood something that looked like a metal egg standing upright. It was about 10 feet tall and covered in strange symbols that glowed with soft blue light. Wires and tubes connected it to machines all around the room. "This is it," Dr. Taemin said. "The quantum resonance chamber. We built it to study alien neural patterns. It can amplify consciousness, suppress unwanted neural activity, even separate merged minds in some cases." "Has it ever been used on someone infected with the devouring?" Valara asked. She was leaning heavily on Haiyan Wu now. Her skin was almost white, and the restraints were barely glowing. Dr. Taemin's face became serious. "No, you would be the first. I won't lie to you. This is dangerous. The procedure might kill you, or it might not work at all. But if we do nothing, your restraints will fail in less than an hour, and then the devouring will take over completely. Then we have no choice," Valara said. "Let's begin." "Wait," Haiyan Wu said. "What exactly will this procedure do?" Dr. Taemin pulled up a holographic display showing a complex diagram of neural pathways. "The devouring is a parasitic consciousness. It attaches itself to the host's mind and slowly consumes it. The quantum resonance chamber will amplify Valara's own consciousness while suppressing the devouring's frequency. Think of it like turning up her mental signal while turning down the parasites." "But there's a problem," one of the other scientists said. She was a younger woman named Dr. Yuna. "The devouring is integrated deeply into her neural structure now. Suppressing it completely would damage her own mind. We need something to anchor her consciousness, something strong enough to help guide her back while we're weakening the devouring." "What kind of anchor?" Haiyan Wu asked. "Another consciousness," Dr. Taemin said. "Someone who can form a neural link with her during the procedure. Someone who can help her remember who she is while we're tearing apart what she's become." Everyone looked at Haiyan Wu. He looked back at them. "You want me to link my mind with hers? With someone who's infected?" "It's dangerous," Dr. Taemin admitted. "The devouring might try to infect you during the process. If it does, we would have 2 infected instead of 1. But there's something interesting we've discovered about human consciousness." He pulled up another display, this one showing brain scans. "We've been studying the devouring since we first learned about it. The entity spreads through psychic contact, targeting species with strong mental unity. Species that think in organized, logical patterns. But humans are different. Human consciousness is chaotic, messy. You have conflicting thoughts, emotions that contradict each other, memories that change based on your mood. The devouring has trouble finding purchase in minds like that. So you think I might be resistant to it?" Haiyan Wu asked. "Possibly," Dr. Yuna said. "Maybe. We don't know for sure. This has never been tested." Haiyan Wu looked at Valara. She was staring at him with those silver eyes. "Don't do this," she said. "You've already done so much. Don't risk yourself for me." Haiyan Wu thought about his sister, about finding her too late, about all the times he had saved people by refusing to give up when others said it was hopeless. He thought about Valara, warning him not to remove her restraints, even though she could have let the devouring spread to Earth. "I'll do it," he said. "Haiyan Wu, no," Valara said. Her skin flashed red. "You don't know what you're agreeing to. The devouring is old and evil. It will try to consume you. Then I'll just have to not let it," Haiyan Wu said simply. "Besides, you said it yourself. The devouring has trouble with chaotic minds. And trust me, my mind is about as chaotic as they come." Before anyone could argue, Alarms started blaring throughout the facility. Red lights flashed in the hallway outside. Lieutenant Park's voice came over the intercom. "Dr. Taemin, we have a situation. 3 Krell mercenaries just breached the outer perimeter. They're fighting their way inside. They're heading for your location." Dr. Taemin cursed. "How much time do we have?" "Maybe 10 minutes, Lieutenant Park said. "My team is trying to slow them down, but these Krell are professional killers. They won't stop." "Then we need to start now," Dr. Taemin said. He turned to his team. "Prep the chamber. Full power. We're doing this immediately." Scientists rushed around the room, activating machines and checking readouts. Dr. Yuna helped Velara into the chamber. Inside was a chair that looked more like a throne, covered in sensors and neural interface ports. "The restraints need to stay on during the procedure," Dr. Taemin said. "We'll route extra power to them from the chamber itself. Hyenwu, you'll sit here." He pointed to a second chair outside the chamber, connected to it by cables. "These neural interface bands will create the link between you and Velara." Hyenwu sat down. Dr. Yuna placed metal bands on his head, wrists, and chest. They felt cold against his skin. Inside the chamber, Velara was connected to even more equipment. "Listen carefully," Dr. Taemin said to Hyenwu. "When the procedure starts, you'll find yourself in a shared mental space with Velara and the Devouring. It won't be like the real world. It will be shaped by thoughts and emotions. The Devouring will try to confuse you, frighten you, maybe tempt you. You must stay focused on Velara. Help her remember who she is. Be her anchor." "How do I do that?" Hyenwu asked. "Talk to her. Remind her of her past, her identity, her choices. The Devouring destroys individuality. It makes everything uniform, all consumed minds thinking and feeling the same. You need to help Velara hold on what makes her unique." Explosions echoed from somewhere above them. The Krell were getting closer. "We're out of time," Dr. Taemin said. "Starting the procedure now." He pressed a button, and the chamber began to hum. The blue symbols on its surface glowed brighter and brighter. Velara gasped as energy flowed through her restraints. Her skin began to glow too, shifting through all colors at once. Then Hyenwu felt it. A pulling sensation, like he was being drawn out of his body. The room around him began to fade, becoming transparent. He could see through the walls, through the floor, through everything. Reality was dissolving. The last thing he heard was Dr. Taemin's voice. "Good luck, both of you." Then the world went white, and Hyenwu was somewhere else entirely. He was standing in a vast space that seemed to go on forever in all directions. The ground under his feet looked like glass, and when he looked down, he could see stars below him. Above him was darkness filled with swirling colors. "Hyen-Wu?" Velara's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. He turned and saw her standing a few feet away. She looked the same, but also different. Her form kept shifting slightly, like she couldn't quite hold her shape. "Where are we?" "Inside your mind, I think," Hyenwu said. "Or maybe between our minds. The doctor said this would happen." "It's strange," Velara said. She looked around at the endless space. "I've never experienced anything like this." "Neither have I," Hyenwu admitted. Then he felt something change. The temperature dropped. The colors above them began to swirl faster, forming into a shape. The shape grew larger and larger. It had no true form, just darkness and eyes. Thousands of eyes. Millions of eyes. Each one looked different, and Hyenwu realized with horror that each eye represented a consciousness the Devouring had consumed. All those individual beings, all now part of one terrible entity. "Human," the Devouring said. Its voice was made of countless voices speaking together, creating a sound that made Haiyan Wu's head hurt. Foolish human, you have entered my domain. Now you will join us. You will become part of the chorus. All your thoughts, all your memories, all your precious individuality will be consumed. The darkness began to reach toward Haiyan Wu. Tentacles of shadow stretched out, each one tipped with grasping hands. He wanted to run, but there was nowhere to go. The devouring was everywhere. Then Velara stepped in front of him. Her form solidified, becoming more real than the darkness around them. No, she said. Her voice was strong now, stronger than Haiyan Wu had ever heard it. You've taken enough from me. You've taken my freedom, my life, my future. But you won't take him. And you won't take me anymore? The devouring laughed. It was a terrible sound. You are already mine, little Luminar. You have been mine since the moment I touched your mind. You are just food that hasn't realized it's been eaten yet. Maybe, Velara said. But this human has shown me something. He's shown me that fighting matters. That choosing to resist, even when it seems hopeless, means something. She turned to Haiyan Wu. Her silver eyes were bright with determination. I'm ready. Help me remember who I am. Help me fight this thing. Haiyan Wu reached out and took her hand. The moment they touched, memories flooded between them. He saw her world, the 3 suns and cities of crystal. He saw her creating light sculptures, pouring her soul into art. He saw her choosing not to end her life when she was infected, hoping against hope for a cure. And she saw his memories too, his sister on the mountain, his years of saving people, his refusal to give up. Together, they turned to face the devouring. The entity roared and surged toward them, all its terrible power focused on consuming them both. The battle for Velara's mind had begun. The devouring crashed over them like a wave of darkness. Haiyan Wu felt its presence trying to push into his mind, searching for openings, for weaknesses. It whispered to him in thousands of voices. Give up. Surrender. Join us. Become one with eternity. But Haiyan Wu held tight to Velara's hand and thought about his sister, about promises broken and promises kept, about every person he had ever pulled from rubble or snow or water. His mind filled with those memories, chaotic and bright and utterly human. The devouring recoiled, just slightly, but enough that Haiyan Wu noticed. Dr. Taemin had been right. The entity couldn't get a clean grip on his consciousness. His thoughts were too messy, too contradictory. He felt sad about his sister, but also proud of the work he did in her name. He was terrified right now, but also determined. He doubted himself constantly, but always acted anyway. The devouring hated that chaos. It wanted order, unity, all minds thinking the same thoughts. Velara, Haiyan Wu said, squeezing her hand. Think about your art, the light sculptures. Remember how you created them. Velara closed her silver eyes. In the darkness around them, colors began to appear. Soft blues and warm golds, swirling together. They formed shapes that danced and moved, just like she had described. I remember, she said. Her voice was stronger now. I remember singing to the crystals. Each one had a different tone, a different personality. I learned to hear them, to understand what they wanted to become. That's it, Haiyan Wu encouraged. Keep going, remember more. The devouring roared. The darkness pressed in harder, trying to crush the growing light. These are not your memories. They are ours. Everything you are belongs to us now. No, Velara said. Her eyes snapped open, and they blazed with silver light. These are my memories, my life. You can't take them unless I let you. And I don't let you anymore. More colors exploded around them. Haiyan Wu saw scenes from Velara's life playing out like movies. Her childhood under 3 suns. Her first sculpture, crude but beautiful. Her proudest moment when the Luminar Council chose one of her works for the Grand Plaza. Her sadness when she was infected. Her choice to keep fighting. Each memory pushed back the darkness a little more. The devouring was losing ground, but it wasn't defeated yet. The entity changed tactics. Instead of trying to consume them with brute force, it began to show them things. Visions appeared in the darkness. Haiyan Wu saw his sister again, but this time she was alive, smiling at him. "You could save me," the vision of his sister said. "Join with us. The devouring exists across time and space. We could go back. We could prevent my death. You could have your sister back." Haiyan Wu's heart ached. He wanted that so badly it hurt, to see his sister alive again, to hear her laugh, to tell her he was sorry he hadn't reached her in time. But then he remembered Velara's words, about how the devouring was a lie, about how it destroyed everything it touched. This vision of his sister wasn't real. It was bait, a trap. "No," Haiyan Wu said. His voice was sad but firm. "My sister is gone. I can't change that, but I can honor her memory by saving others. By being here now, helping Velara. That's what my sister would want." The vision shattered. The devouring screamed in fury. It turned its attention to Velara, showing her visions of her homeworld. But not as it was, as it could be. "We can make the Luminar perfect," the devouring whispered. "No more conflict. No more pain. Everyone thinking in harmony. Isn't that beautiful?" For a moment, Velara seemed tempted. The Luminar valued peace and unity. But then she shook her head. "That's not unity. That's slavery. True peace means everyone choosing to work together while staying themselves. What you offer is just the death of individuality." The darkness began to shrink. The devouring was weakening. But it made one final attempt. It showed them both a vision of Earth. But in this vision, Earth was consumed. Every human mind connected to the devouring, all thinking the same thoughts, all feeling the same emotions. "This is your future," the devouring said. "Whether you resist or not, we are inevitable. We have consumed thousands of species. Your young, chaotic race will be no different. You cannot stop us." Haiyan Wu felt fear grip him. The vision looked so real, so possible. Humanity turned into just another part of the devouring's collective consciousness. Everything that made humans special wiped away. But then he thought about all the humans he knew. His stubborn coworkers who never followed orders exactly. G1 who argued with him about everything. Dr. Taemin, who worked on impossible problems because he was too curious to give up. Lieutenant Park, who fought enemies she could have run from. Humanity was messy, chaotic, contradictory, and that was their strength. "You're wrong," Haiyan Wu said. "You think you're inevitable because you've won before. But you've never faced humans. We're too stubborn to be consumed, too creative to be controlled, too individual to ever truly join your collective. We'll fight you, and we'll find a way to win." His words seemed to have power here in this mental space. They pushed back against the darkness, creating cracks in it. Through the cracks, light began to shine. "Velara," Haiyan Wu said, "one more push. Show this thing who you really are." Velara nodded. She let go of Haiyan Wu's hand and stepped forward. Her form began to glow brighter and brighter. She raised her arms, and from her fingertips came light. Pure, beautiful light that took form and substance. A massive light sculpture appeared around them. It was the most beautiful thing Haiyan Wu had ever seen. It showed Velara's entire life. Every moment, every choice, every triumph and failure. It showed who she was. Not who the devouring wanted her to be, but who she chose to be. The sculpture grew larger and brighter. It pushed against the devouring, burning away the darkness. The entity screamed, a sound of pure rage and pain. Its thousands of eyes began to close, one by one. "Impossible," the devouring howled. "You cannot resist." "No one resists. I just did," Velara said. "With help from a friend who refused to give up on me." The light became blinding. Haiyan Wu had to close his eyes. He felt a pulling sensation again, like he was being yanked back to his body. The mental space was collapsing, or maybe he was just leaving it. The last thing he heard was the devouring scream fading into silence. Then he was back in his body. The bands on his head, wrists, and chest fell away. He gasped and opened his eyes. He was still sitting in the chair in the research facility. Dr. Tae Min and Dr. Yuna were standing over him, looking worried. "He's back," Dr. Yuna said with relief. "Velara?" Haiyan Wu asked. His voice was hoarse. Dr. Tae Min pointed to the chamber. Through its transparent walls, Haiyan Wu could see Velara. She was slumped in the chair, not moving. Her skin was completely white. The restraints around her wrists and ankles were dark, no longer glowing. "Is she alive?" Haiyan Wu tried to stand, but his legs wouldn't support him. He fell back into the chair. "She's alive," Dr. Tae Min said. "But we don't know yet if the procedure worked. We need to run tests, see if the devouring is still present in her neural patterns." The chamber door opened with a hiss. Dr. Yuna rushed inside to check on Velara. She ran a scanner over the alien woman's body, studying the readouts carefully. "The devouring signature is still present," Dr. Yuna said. Everyone's heart sank. "But it's different. Much weaker. It's contained in a small section of her neural structure. Her own consciousness is suppressing it now." "So she's still infected?" Haiyan Wu asked. "Technically, yes," Dr. Tae Min said. "But it's contained, controlled, like a disease in remission. As long as her mental defenses stay strong, the devouring should remain dormant." Velara's eyes opened slowly. They were silver again, clear and bright. She looked around, confused. Then she saw Haiyan Wu and smiled. Her skin changed to a warm gold color. "We did it," she said weakly. "I can feel it. The devouring is still there, but it's quiet, locked away in a corner of my mind. It can't control me anymore." Haiyan Wu finally managed to stand. He walked to the chamber on shaky legs and reached out to Velara. She took his hand, and this time there was no rush of shared memories. Just two people holding hands. "The restraints," Velara said, looking at the dark bands on her wrists. "They're not needed anymore?" Dr. Tae Min checked his instruments. "Not needed, but I would recommend wearing modified versions. As a precaution. The devouring is dormant, but we don't know if stress or injury could wake it again." Velara nodded. "I understand, and I accept that. It's a small price to pay for freedom." An alarm went silent. Lieutenant Park's voice came over the intercom again. "Dr. Tae Min, the Krell have retreated. When they saw the procedure succeed, they withdrew. They're reporting to the Galactic Council right now." "Reporting what?" Dr. Tae Min asked. "That humanity just did the impossible," Lieutenant Park said. "You cured someone infected with the devouring. First time in recorded galactic history." Dr. Tae Min and Dr. Yuna looked at each other in amazement. Then they looked at Haiyan Wu and Velara. "Do you understand what this means?" Dr. Tae Min asked. "If we can refine this procedure, if we can teach other humans to serve as anchors like Haiyan Wu did, we could cure all the infected across the galaxy. Thousands of them. Maybe more." The implications hit Haiyan Wu like a wave. He had just wanted to help one person. But somehow, that one act of compassion might change the entire galaxy. Over the next few weeks, everything changed. News of the cure spread across the stars. Governments, research institutions, and desperate families with infected loved ones all contacted Earth. Could humanity really cure the devouring? Was it true? Velara stayed on Earth, working with Dr. Taman to help refine the procedure. Other infected began arriving, cautiously hopeful. Most of the procedures succeeded. Not all, but most. And each success was a victory against something the galaxy had considered unstoppable. Haiyan Wu returned to his regular work. But now he split his time. Half the week doing search and rescue. Half the week serving as a neural anchor for infected aliens who came seeking the cure. It was exhausting work. Each procedure drained him mentally and physically. But he never complained. Other humans volunteered to be trained as anchors too. G1 was one of the first. She said if Haiyan Wu's stubborn, messy mind could resist the devouring, then hers could too. She was right. Humanity's reputation across the galaxy shifted. They were no longer just the young upstart species. They were the ones who had achieved the impossible. Not through superior technology or military might, but through compassion and the strange, chaotic nature of human consciousness. 6 months after the procedure, Haiyan Wu and Velara returned to the crater where they had first met. It had been filled in and covered with grass now. No sign remained of the crash. "I've been working on something," Velara said. She held up her hands, and light began to flow from her fingertips. It formed a sculpture in the air above them. This one showed 2 figures, one human and one luminar, standing together against darkness. The figures were made of colors that shifted and changed, showing all the emotions of that night. Fear and hope. Despair and determination. The sculpture was beautiful and sad and triumphant all at once. "It's amazing," Haiyan Wu said. "It's a memorial," Velara explained, "for everyone who has ever been consumed by the devouring, and a symbol of hope for those who might yet be saved." They stood together, watching the light sculpture dance in the evening air. In the distance, Haiyan Wu could see ships landing at the research facility. More infected arriving, seeking help, seeking freedom. "Thank you," Velara said quietly, "for not giving up on me, for seeing me as a person worth saving instead of just a threat." "Thank you for warning me," Haiyan Wu replied. "You could have let the devouring spread to Earth, but you chose to fight it. That took courage." Velara smiled. Her skin turned warm gold again. "I learned that courage from you. You humans have this strange belief that no one is beyond saving, that even in the darkest moments, choice and compassion matter. That belief saved my life, and it might save thousands more." As the sun set behind them, more ships appeared in the sky, each one carrying someone who had been infected, someone who had given up hope, someone who would now get a second chance at life, all because one human had found an alien woman in a crater and refused to look away when she begged him not to free her. Instead, he had found a way to free her in the way that truly mattered. Humanity's greatest export to the galaxy wasn't technology or weapons or resources. It was the simple, stubborn belief that everyone deserves a chance. That compassion is strength. That hope matters even when everything seems hopeless. And it had all started with a rescue worker who couldn't give up, who saw someone in need and decided to help, no matter the risk. Who proved that sometimes the most powerful thing in the universe is refusing to abandon someone who needs you. The light sculpture continued to dance in the darkening sky, visible for miles around. A beacon of hope in a galaxy that had forgotten what hope looked like. And at its base stood 2 friends, one human and one alien, both proof that even the darkest infection could be overcome. The devouring was no longer unstoppable. Not because humanity had better weapons or stronger powers, but because humans understood something the ancient entity never could, that individuality matters, that messy, chaotic, contradictory consciousness is a feature, not a bug. That one person refusing to give up can change everything. Velara looked at Haiyan Wu and asked the question she had been thinking about for months. Why are humans so different? Why do you refuse to give up on others when logic says you should? Haiyan Wu was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he smiled. Because we know what it's like to be lost, to be scared, to need help. And we know how much it means when someone doesn't give up on you, when someone sees you as worth saving. That feeling is so powerful, so important, that we want to give it to others. Even strangers, even aliens, even people carrying something as terrible as the devouring. That's beautiful, Velara said. And strange, and very, very human. They stood together as night fell completely, watching more ships arrive, each one carrying someone who would get a second chance, someone who would be reminded that they were more than their infection, that they were individuals worth fighting for. And somewhere in the darkness of space, the devouring retreated. For the first time in its ancient existence, it had encountered something it couldn't consume. Humanity's stubborn compassion, their refusal to accept defeat, their belief that everyone deserves a chance at redemption, that the war against the devouring was far from over. But for the first time, it was a war that could be won. And it had started because one human refused to remove restraints when asked. Instead, he had kept them on and carried someone to safety. A simple act of kindness that changed the galaxy. The light sculpture glowed brighter in the darkness, a promise to all who saw it. No one is beyond saving. No one is too far gone. Hope exists, even in the darkest places. All you need is someone willing to be your anchor, someone willing to hold on when everything else is falling apart. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not power, not conquest. Just the stubborn belief that compassion matters, that one person can make a difference, that holding on to hope when it seems hopeless is the bravest thing anyone can do. And sometimes that belief is enough to change everything.